Welcome in to the Punt and Pass podcast. I'm your host, Drew Butler, joined alongside by my co-host, Jake From. Be sure to follow us on social media. We are at Punt and Pass on X and Instagram. I'm at Drew Butler. He's at From Jake. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. YouTube has been crushing it lately. Thank you to everybody who has been tuning in. puntandpass.com, the number one destination for all things college football. What a weekend it was. We are on to Thanksgiving week. Yes, it's rivalry week. It's Thanksgiving week. So many great matchups coming up this week and weekend. Of course, we'll touch base on everything that happened over the weekend. But Jake, before I get into anything, I mentioned the YouTube channel. I've mentioned the podcast picking up big time. We've been getting new listeners, new subscribers, new people hollering at us on social media, and that's great. However, something has happened in the last week that through almost 10 years of doing Punt and Pass has never happened. Do you want to know what it is?
No, please enlighten me.
People are coming at me for my intro to the podcast saying it's awful, saying it's the most annoying thing I've ever heard. Somebody even tweeted at me and they were like, dude, this podcast is great besides the horrible opening. And I'm like, oh, no
way.
I'm like, oh, no. So these people obviously have not been listening. We welcome you. Thank you for the criticism. I like constructive criticism, but this is the thing, right? Like I do it on the radio in Atlanta when I host it. That's it. I've been doing it forever. Yes, it's like a running joke. The long, extended welcome in. That's like, my thing. Mad Dog Russo has good afternoon, everybody. Colin Cowherd has his thing. Steak Shapiro, my boy on radio here in Atlanta. He starts off with the long drown out. And I mean, that's what you have to do. But Jake, it's making me think, man. I'm getting a little self-conscious over here.
No, there's no reason to be that way. I mean, I like your thing, man. I think you make a great point of, hey, all these big time guys, they have their thing. Hey, you have your thing, man. Pick to it, stick to it. Hey, you're going to get some arrows and all these things. Don't worry about it. I love it. Let's keep this thing rolling.
I need you to kind of talk me off here because as a quarterback, of course, you guys get the red carpet treatment, you get the cars, you get the money, you get the women, you get everything. However, you also get the other side. You get blamed for just about everything. Of course, the arrows come out on social media. I've gotten my fair share of that as well. As a punter, you have a bad punt, people come right at you on social media. Of course, that was a long time ago. Social media much more prevalent now. But man, Jake, I don't know. It cut me deep a little bit. I might be thinking about switching it up.
If you switch it up, you're gonna have to run it by me first. However, I mean, I like our thing. I like the way we started. So I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't worry about it, Coach. If it was me, I mean, I'd stick to my guns and keep it rolling.
Do me a favor. Ask me if I'm ever gonna stop saying welcome in.
Drew Butler, will you ever stop saying welcome in to the Punt and Pass podcast?
I ain't never going to stop saying welcome into Punt and Pass. Thank you very much. I love it. Stick with it. Thanks to all the new listeners out there as well. I had to talk to you about that, though, because I get them on Twitter, and I'm like, wow, this is funny. They've obviously never listened to the show. But after they kind of dump on me, they say, great podcast. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. What a great weekend it was. The weather was warm here in Atlanta. Hot. Georgia took care of business on Senior Day. They beat up on Charlotte 35-3. Yes, it was cupcake week majority-wise in the SEC. There was a big game on the flats in Atlanta with a lot on the line. Georgia Tech took an L, which Jake Fromm said would happen on Thursday's episode. They lose to Pittsburgh 42-28. We'll get into that one as well. Did you have a good weekend, Jake? You were at the game on Saturday.
Yeah, had a good weekend. I actually loved kind of the kickoff time of this week's game. It was kind of great. Got to get in and get out, have a good time. You know what was really kind of cool and refreshing to see, especially coming off the Texas weekend? I saw a ton of young families and kids.
Yes.
There were so many young kids at this game. Like, to me, that's what it's all about. Like creature comforts, normally, take a picture here and there, people come up, man, creature was bumping.
Awesome.
I took so many pictures and signed so many things, but it was awesome just because I saw so many kids. I don't know, man, to me, that's just what it's all about. So it was really fun to see.
Hey, I took advantage of it as well. Jackie and I brought all 3 girls to the game. We were with Clint Bowling, my former roommate at Georgia, 8-year NFL vet, a damn good dog. He brought all of his kids. We saw a bunch of kids out there as well. That 12:45 kickoff time was awesome. What a great day to be in Athens and to usher in a new generation of Georgia Bulldogs. Hey, this episode of Punt and Pass presented to you by our awesome partners over at Solomon Brothers Jewelers. You know where to find them by now. Online at SolomonBrothers.com, at Solomon Brothers on social media. 3 amazing locations for you to check out. Buckhead, Alpharetta, and Sharpsburg. You know the drill. Walk in, tell them Punt and Pass sent you, boom, 10% off your jewelry purchase, and it's still buyback month. We told you about that a couple weeks ago. It's buyback month. Any old jewelry, any old gold lying around, bring it in. You get an extra 50% bump on your credit if you use it in store. Solomon Brothers is the best. Check them out, SolomonBrothers.com. Today's episode of Punt and Pass is brought to you by Humberto Injury Law. If you've been hurt in an accident and need a team that fights for you like we fight on the field, Humberto Injury Law is here for you. Humberto and his team know what it takes to win, and they'll stand by your side every step of the way. Visit HumbertoInjuryLaw.com to learn more or call them 24/7, 770-888-8901, 770-888-8901, HumbertoInjuryLaw.com. Yeah, it was an awesome, awesome game day in Athens. It was hot, man. It was like 80 degrees in late November in Athens. Nobody was complaining, though, because the kids were out. The Dogs took care of business. They improved to 10-1 on the season. They beat the Charlotte 49ers 35-3 on Senior Day. And now, Jake, they await their SEC championship game fate as Texas A&M heads to Texas on Friday night. Alabama plays Auburn at Auburn on Saturday night in the Iron Bowl. Wow, so much to watch. Georgia, of course, has a huge game against Georgia Tech at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Friday afternoon. Going back to the game on Saturday, though, Jake, plenty of Dogs saw the field against Charlotte. I thought it was a crisp, clean game, no injuries to report. It was exactly what Georgia needed heading into clean, old-fashioned hate week.
Yeah, I think when you kind of zoom out and you look at this game in total, you're like, yeah, this is exactly what we wanted to accomplish and what we wanted to do. I think you could probably zoom in and nitpick probably one too many things, right? The opening drive was a 4-and-out, kind of the 2-minute kind of debacle. But I think when you zoom out and you look at this game as a whole, you're like, yeah, this is what we expected. This is what we wanted. We got in, we got out. We got in a groove offensively, right, which is the strength of this football team. They got in a groove. They scored on, 4 or 5 consecutive possessions. They got up. They got some young dudes. They got some playing time. They got some old heads that had a little bit of playing time. Yep. And they were, able to get out healthy and move on, right? This Charlotte team was not a very good football team, man. Watching – probably the first 2 quarters, I'm like, ooh, this is going to get ugly and quickly. But man, kudos to them, man. They fought for 4 quarters and they did a good job. So, but yeah, man, there's not a whole lot to say about this game other than, yeah, cool. We checked this box and let's move on to the next week.
Yeah, business as usual. Kirby Smart was asked about it after the game. A lot going on. It was Senior Day. Everybody properly sent off the senior class, which has had so much success during their time in Athens. He also touched on the win as well. Here's Kirby Smart post-game from Saturday.
I think they finished up with a 25-1 home record. That's pretty remarkable considering the league they played in and the teams they played against. Proud of them. Proud that our guys got to come out and play a lot of players and probably play real early and got to continue to grow, get more guys playing winning football, get guys healthy, and get ready for a big game next week. So that'll open it up.
What can you say about the freshman performance, Bo Walker, 3 rushing touchdowns for him today?
It's great, man. He's been working his tail off every week. He's starting on 2 special teams units. He never complains. He got a smile on his face every day. Just love the way he competes and works. He's still got to grow and get better at some things, but he catches the ball in the backfield well. He blocks well. And he's got good vision. So I thought they opened some things up and he made some people miss.
What do you think about what Bo overcame in his high school, especially his senior year, having to transfer? Do you think that makes this day a little bit more special for him?
Yeah, I mean, he got to play his senior year. That was some positive. I mean, he was staring down the possibility of not playing. So I think he got blessed to play at a really good place and for a really good program up there. And then he came here and he's grown and he's competed. And not really saying waited his turn. He's been battling to get an opportunity, and he took advantage of it.
Of course, he's talking about Bo Walker, the freshman running back who got a lot of play on Saturday, Jake. How about this stat line? 9 carries, 48 yards, 3 touchdowns. That'll do for your first real action toting the rock for Georgia. A good welcome for him, and that's exactly what you want to see. Tons of guys got reps. Of course, you wanted to get the ones in there to keep their bodies moving earlier on in the game, but they took care of business. They got off the field, and Bo Walker took advantage of his opportunity.
Yeah, he sure did. He had as many touchdowns as the other team had points, which is a pretty cool stat line and thing to say. The ones got to get in the game, get their SWAT on, and get moving a little bit, which was really good. We did rest Drew Bobo and our right tackle as well, so we got to rest some guys. But man, overall got out pretty healthy, I think, which is also kind of cool. We talked about Noah Thomas, right, the last couple of weeks of him kind of grinding, waiting his turn. He had his opportunity. He made the most of it. And same thing here. And another great example being Bo Walker, right? He gets his number called on and he's been ready. He's been grinding throughout the entirety of the season. Hey man, get in and get your reps. And he was able to make explosive plays. The only knock I have on this game is this was such a critical week because 2 other guys in the country and in the SEC did.
I know.
It was like, hey, we really needed Gunner to have a little bit of a stat day.
Yeah,
right. That would help the media push so much, but it just didn't happen.
No.
And I felt like whenever I played in these games, the ball kind of never felt my way or went my way as far as stat games in these games.
Yeah.
Because you're running the ball on like the 15, 20, 25 yard line, and you're just a little bit better than the other team you're playing. And you're not necessarily expecting to score right on a run play from the 25.
Sure.
And you just do, right. And so you never really get these passes dialed up that you had installed and game planned for the week, to maybe get your guy right throwing touchdown. But yeah, man, I felt like we left Gunner hanging a little bit. So
no, you're exactly right. I mean, looking around the nation, and we'll get to that, some quarterbacks had some impressive games from a statistics perspective. You and I talked about it on Thursday's episode. Like, this is a great opportunity. Like, let Gunner go out there and throw it around. You know that we have the dudes for mismatches all across the field. But to your point, when you're handing it off and they're just shaking tackles and going for 25 yards for a touchdown, it's not like those guys see green
what are you
and
going to
fall down and allow Gunner to take care of it. So it's just the way the cookie crumbles in those instances. And it's funny. You look across college football now, and you might think some of your teammates who might be in the same position room might get a little upset that they didn't get the opportunity to tote the ball against a lesser opponent. Well, Georgia's starting running back, Nate Frazier, was asked about Bo Walker getting all those carries, and here's what Nate had to say.
Bo Walker, 3 touchdowns today. How impressive is it for him to have that kind of impact for you guys?
Yeah, I think I'm more happy to him than he is happy for himself. Like that's like my little brother, man. Like one thing about me, like I want everybody on the team. Like I'm really a team person, a team player. So like I see other people's successes just make me more happy. And I see what he does in practice. He works extremely hard. Like he does everything right. He's a great kid. He deserves it. So that made me really happy. That means a lot to me. I know for sure that means a lot to me.
What have you learned about him so far?
No matter like what it takes, he's a humble kid. He's gonna work hard no matter what is put in front of him. No matter if he has to go on scout team, no matter if he has to go with the ones, whatever the twos. Like whatever you ask him to do, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it 100% effort.
Touchdowns today, you guys start fast. How important was that for you guys to get rolling, get up big early today?
Early games like this, we preach on coming out fast because it's early in the morning, so we're just trying to get used to anything that comes to us. Like in the college football playoffs, you never know. We get a game that start at 8, 9 o'clock. That really doesn't depend on you. So you just try to come out fast, for future reasons. Like we get an early game, so it means a lot to us.
Yeah, great to hear Nate talk about Bo's success in that way. It's just the culture that Georgia's built. I'm not saying that it's much different across the country because everybody in those instances is rooting for their teammates to get some shine. It was great to see Nate give Bo those flowers after he had such a good game. The defense was largely untested, Jake. I think that's good again because they were able to get off the field early in comparison to the team that they're going to play on Friday. Georgia Tech was in a 4-quarter brawl that kicked off at 7 p.m. I mean, I'm guessing most of the Georgia guys were already with their families or doing whatever they do post-game, getting the opportunity to kind of relax and then get to bed and turn the clock over to Georgia Tech on Sunday morning. Kirby Smart was asked about that after the game. I mean, right after the Charlotte game. Hey, Coach, big week coming up, rivalry week. Are you already on to Georgia Tech? This answer actually surprised me a little bit. Here's Kirby Smart talking about how he's going to really take in this Charlotte victory.
Kirby, kind of the follow-up on that, the Georgia guy, what does that Georgia Tech game mean to you personally?
Well, for us, it's the next game on the schedule. If we want to continue to grow and get better, then we got to play well against them. They've got a really good football team. They've got a really physical football team. So it's the next one up.
What did you think Gunner's interception there? Did you feel like he was forcing the ball there?
I don't know. I got to watch it and double buzz safety look and try to squeeze it in vertical and seam and got me a nice play.
You talk about players, having joy in the success of others. What was it like as a coach seeing so many guys celebrate Daniel Okonkwo's interception during the last few minutes?
Yeah, it's great to see those guys get out there and play. I mean, so many of them practice all year and they don't get an opportunity to play, so getting an opportunity to play is really big.
What do you remember about the senior class? I know there's still some senior class. What do you remember?
It's such a mixed bag. Like, I can't figure out where the seniors are because you got redshirt juniors out there. It's just all over the place. I look at the seniors as the guys who are out of eligibility, who cannot play anymore. And those are the ones that I think about in the senior class, the Micah, the Colby, the Noah, the guy Dylan Bell, the guys who played their hearts out. Oscar Delp. There's just so many Dalen Everett, so many guys that have done that and given so much to this university that I'm happy for them.
Yeah, it's different in this day and age, man, because you can get 6-7 years of eligibility. You can bounce around, go to other go to other teams, continue to play. Dalen Everett was a guy that he mentioned, a guy that you don't hear much about, and that's a good thing, Jake, because he is a lockdown corner. He is out of eligibility. He was asked after the game, thoughts? This is your last game, presumably, if Georgia does not host a home playoff game. Roll this one, Jared, because, man, it hits home when you're done and you're done wearing the red and black inside Sanford Stadium.
What's today feel like for you? What were the emotions? Obviously, a lot of guys that you came into the program with, now you're not going to be here next year.
I don't even know. Like, it's just crazy. Time flew. It don't even feel like me. Like, it don't even feel like I'm a senior. Today being my last game here, I don't know. It just feels a little different. I think it's starting to hit me a little bit.
What was that like coming out of the tunnel? Obviously, them calling your name, senior day. Like, what are the emotions like? Did it hit you then, or was it not till right now when you take off the pads and all that?
Honestly, maybe it's really right now because, even when they were calling my name, especially, I still had a game to play. And now it's like it's over, so this is really like my last game here. So, yeah.
What was it like for you today, seeing the young guys play? Dominic Kelly has a big play. Daniel has a pick in the end zone. What's that like for you?
Man, it's great seeing those young guys step up and go in the game and make plays. They work hard just as anybody else on the team. So them finally getting the opportunity to go do that on the field, I'm just proud of them.
Man, he was asked that question. He was kind of taken aback, Jake.
Yeah.
It was definitely the first time that he had thought about it. We both went through it. When you run out of that tunnel and you go see your family, if they're there, you probably got to hold back some tears, just overcome with emotion. It's a special time. And when it comes to an M, man, it hits hard.
Yeah, he was definitely at a loss for words a little bit. Just trying to take it in, think about it. And the thing is there's so many more possible game opportunities left. So it's so kind of different and weird to think about this being it, but also, hey, I may have 6 more games left on the schedule, which is crazy. So there's that. And then to comment on the defense, man, it was good to see the defense kind of continue to build on what they've been doing, right? A multiple sack game, a multiple turnover game.
Yeah.
I think that is huge for their confidence. And then I want to circle all the way back and talk about Nate Frazier, because Nate Frazier is a young man who's really growing on me a ton. I think he just embodies what it means to be a Georgia football player, especially a running back. And I think he's doing things the right way. And he's constantly just dishing and giving praise to other position groups. So I think he's doing a fantastic job.
So when I walked into the stadium on Saturday, I took a quick picture with the girls, and the running backs were in the corner of the end zone. I was like 2 feet away from Chauncey Bowens. He's massive. All right, he is a load.
Got some legs,
no doubt about it. But Josh McCray, are you kidding me? This dude is enormous. In any short yardage situation, you have got to hand number 2 the ball. Holy cow. I was like, I had no idea. In pads, he is that big. Georgia has an absolute stable of running backs. Going back to Dalen Everett, though, I mean, he was taken aback. He was like, it's just hitting me right now. And, he was kind of just talking about like being with the guys. He's like, it's not just the football. It's everything that goes into being a football player. It makes me think of the very, very famous clip from a March Madness tournament. Do you know which one I'm talking about? When I think it was like one of the mid-major schools, they had lost in the first round. And they're asking the player, like, what are you going to miss the most, man? This is it. You're done. College basketball's over. What are you going to miss the most? And he's speechless. He like kind of puts his head down. He's like, he's fighting back tears and he's sniffling, and he looks up and he goes, going out to eat. And it's so true. Like just the moments that you have with your boys. Yeah, just hanging out with the guys.
I mean, for me, especially for me, I mean, I feel like I could speak on this, pretty good, right? I am fresh out, right?
Yeah.
Fresh out. And for me, it's hanging out with the guys and then feeling like you are a part of something big, and then that you make a difference in kind of this machine and can move the needle a little bit. So, but yeah, man, hanging out with the dudes in the locker room, nothing right? Better. Playing cards, joking, whatever it is, and all the downtimes that we have, man, it's just, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, you always miss playing. Like that's a fact. But it's all those other things that you just simply cannot get anywhere else. Whenever people ask me, like, do you miss playing? I'm like, yeah, I miss playing. The 2 things I miss the most is the locker room and the paychecks. Like that's pretty much it. I mean, it is true. Like Sundays and Saturdays when you're a player at a big time program, it can be stressful. Now, I'm not saying that you would never want it again, but those are the best, man. There's no question about it. So Georgia wins 35-3 over Charlotte. Again, they're 10-1, and they've got Georgia Tech coming up this Friday. Gonna be a huge game. Could have been a little bit bigger. It brings us to our next topic. Before we get to that topic, got to remind you this episode of Punt and Pass is presented to you by our awesome partners over at Solomon Brothers Jewelers. Check them out online, solomonbrothers.com. Check them out on social media at Solomon Brothers on X and Instagram. And let me just tell you right now, the holidays are here, people. You will blink and it will be Christmas. Do not get caught lacking, right? You don't want your partner upset with you. If you've got a price point, if you've got a budget, perfect. It does not matter what it is. Head on into a Solomon Brothers location. They will help you out tremendously, and you will win. You will win during the holidays. They will help you out. It's also buyback month right now, so any old jewelry or gold that you might have laying around the house, bring it in, and they will give you 50% additional in-store credit if you use it at one of their awesome locations. Tell them Punt and Pass sent you. You can get up to 10% off your jewelry purchase. Solomon Brothers is the best. I promise you, nowhere better than Solomon Brothers Jewelers. Football games are won in the fourth quarter, and cases are won with relentless effort. Humberto Injury Law never lets up. They fight until the final whistle for every client. If you need a team that won't quit, check them out, HumbertoInjuryLaw.com, or call them 770-888-8901. 770-888-8901. The number one personal injury and workers' comp attorney is available for you. Tell him Punt and Pass sent you. Humberto is mi amigo. He's one for me. He can win for you as well. Yeah, Georgia Tech loses to Pittsburgh at home in a game that would have clinched them a spot in the ACC title game. Haynes King, bad start. Georgia Tech down 28-0 before you could even blink. The Jackets defense continues to struggle, Jake. They made it a game late, but it was too little, too late. A big hill to climb. They lose 42-28, and now they have to turn their attention to the Dawgs to play spoiler on what has been a very, very good Georgia Bulldogs season. I tell you what, man, I'm speechless. You called to lose this game. Exactly right. And they did not look ready to play in front of a sold-out Bobby Dodd Stadium.
No, man, they did not. They totally dropped the ball on this one. If I was a betting man, I think I would have made some pretty good money this year because I feel like I've called a couple different things this year. Definitely called this one. We were doing the pregame show at Creature Comforts for Atlanta News First, and they showed a clip, and it was Brent Key, and he was talking about this week, and he said that they went live this week.
Oh.
They went full tackle this week during practice. And my immediate thoughts were, this is either going to be really good or really bad for this team. You cannot go live. You cannot go full tackle in practice in week 13. What are we doing? So
you know what that does? It just demoralizes the entire team. You're like, what are we doing? Are we not having a great season? Like, that's a punishment, Jake.
Absolutely. Especially, I mean, this team has gotten the physical card, right? This team plays physical. Your quarterback obviously does. And if your quarterback does, let me tell you, the other guys will follow suit because nobody wants to be out toughed or out physicaled, right, by your quarterback. So, this team already plays physical, and they definitely had a slow start. I think it's probably a little bit because of that, right? I mean, they was what, 21 or 28 to nothing to start the game?
28 to nothing, dude. 28 to nothing with 12 minutes left in the second quarter.
I mean, unbelievable. Now, before halftime, when Pitt missed back-to-back field goals, I'm like, hold on, we might have a football game here. And
that kicker, oh my God, he looked scared to kick.
He did. It's like he was playing this my ankle hurt kind of deal every time he would miss one.
Yes, he was. It was bad.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do. Not instilling a lot of confidence in his teammates or the coaches. I was actually texting you when Tech was starting to make their comeback, and all three of my brothers-in-law are Georgia Tech grads. So suffice to say, I was being relentless to them in the group chat, just crushing them, and they weren't even responding to me because it was so bad. But in the third quarter, Jake, and late in the third quarter, mid-third quarter, Haynes King started to do what Haynes King does. I mean, he just took over the ball game. This is your quarterback, and he's not even looking to throw. He's lowering his right shoulder, his throwing arm, trucking linebackers, willing Georgia Tech down the field. And I sent out a text. I go, dude, you know what? I know I'm having fun, but Haynes King is a baller. This kid is the man. And then I'm talking, as soon as I pressed send, 100-yard interception return for a touchdown. Georgia Tech was about to be within 7 points, and Braylon Lovelace takes a 100-yard interception back to the crib for a touchdown, which put the game out of reach, 35-14 at that point. And then, of course, Pitt ends up winning 42-28. But you and I were texting, just Haynes King did not look right.
No, something was off to start the game. And I tell you, I immediately need to give props to the freshman running back for Pittsburgh, Ja'Kirian Turner, number 25. That dude's got some juice, and he is a baller. He had he had 200 yards, 21 carries, 200 yards in this football game, and it was just one thing on top of another, and Tech just dug themselves into a hole. They started slow, and against good football teams, it is just a tough hill to climb when you dig yourself in that deep of a hole.
Is disheartening the right adjective for Georgia Tech fans, even for like me? Of course, I don't like Georgia Tech. I follow them. It's been a great, fun story to keep tabs on all season long with everything in front of you.
Oh yeah,
an ACC title
on above the score, right? Whatever that graphic is. It was
the whole game.
Georgia Tech win goes to the ACC championship, right? And like it's right there in front of you. All you have to do is win, and you're in. And now they're pretty much playing for just to ruin Georgia's season, in which arguably Georgia's probably a lock to be in the college football playoff anyway. So it's just all it is just a little bit of a stain at this point. They had so many things going. They've done so well. They've gotten to this point. To fall short in this fashion is a little disheartening.
Okay, so tell me this, because I was watching the game and I was like, all right, I've got one issue. how on earth is Georgia going to defend the Haynes King in the shotgun, quick look, pump fake, pull the ball, and just run it? I mean, that's all he does. That's their entire offense, right? Quick game. They don't take deep shots. They run the ball with Haynes. And then, of course, Haynes King takes it over 100% of the time. It's like a quarterback draw design. It's open. Pitt was just letting it be open late in the game because they had such a big lead. But I'm watching. I'm like, you're going to get a heavy dose of that Friday afternoon in the Benz.
Yeah, I mean, to me, you're going to have to play a lot more spot drop zone with eyes on the quarterback and just be okay with him being able to pick you apart a little bit. And then obviously with the man with the quarterback spy and letting your best athlete just say, hey, I got him. He's not going anywhere. And I can run him down sideline to sideline. Just kind of a mixed bag between that and a little bit of pressure too. I mean, it didn't look like he was making maybe the best decisions in the world. Pittsburgh has a very high blitz rate. They're one of the most blitzing teams in college football, and it looked like they had a little bit of trouble with that. So expect Georgia to maybe dial it up a little bit next week.
Okay, so Georgia Tech technically not out of it for the ACC championship game. Yeah, here's what they need. You ready? They need Pitt to win, Virginia to lose, Duke to lose, and it's Southern Methodist to lose. Or they need Miami to win, SMU to lose, Duke to lose, then they clinch a tiebreaker. Or they need Miami to win, Southern Methodist to lose, and Virginia to lose, then they clinch another tiebreaker. So they're not technically out of it, but man, it is not looking good for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. And all the Tech fans out there, I know we're on TV right now in Atlanta. I'm sorry. Now you get the opportunity to play spoiler. And, of course, Brent Key would love nothing more. This could be his last game as Georgia Tech's head coach. I'll just go ahead and say that. Buster Faulkner, where's he going to be next year? Yes, Haynes King will be gone as well. This is it. Georgia has an opportunity to tie the longest win streak in the history of the series between these two teams. It's going to be an awesome game on Friday afternoon, 3:30 kickoff inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium. What are your expectations for that? Of course, we'll have a pod ready for everybody to go as you gear up for Friday, Saturday. That'll be out before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so how about this mess right here? I'm on the ACC website and the standings in the conference. Virginia, SMU, Pittsburgh, Georgia Tech, Duke, and then Miami. Miami is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth ranked in the standings for the ACC to get in to the ACC championship game, which is, I don't know, crazy.
It really is crazy. So Georgia Tech falls to Pittsburgh 42-28 on the outside looking in for an ACC title berth. Of course, getting ready for Georgia now, and we will break all of that down on Thursday's episode. Okay, let's go around the SEC and college football to recap what happened this weekend. Tennessee, beats Florida 31-11. First win for the Vols inside the Swamp since 2003. Now, their college football playoff hopes are not technically dead either, but they're going to need a lot of stuff to happen for Tennessee to sneak in.
Yeah, they're going to need a lot, but it was kind of cool to see them go down in the Swamp, win this football game, kind of beat up on some Gators, something they haven't done in a very, very long time. Down in the Swamp. I don't know. I think it's good for the SEC when Tennessee is kind of good. I think it just brings a little bit more volatility. I don't know. It's just good for the SEC to have good football teams all around. And I don't know. Anytime you beat the Florida Gators, it's always a good day.
No question about it. You had mentioned earlier in the show there were some quarterbacks who padded the stats in a big way over the weekend. One of them, your boy Diego Pavia at Vanderbilt. They laid it on Kentucky 45-17. Pavia 33 of 39 for 484 passing yards and 5 passing touchdowns. He also carried the ball 15 times for 48 yards and added a rushing touchdown. Theo Vaughn was like with his mom doing the senior day thing. I mean, it's like a total sideshow.
It's getting weird. It's getting weird. The only thing I didn't like, I saw a clip of like Diego talking to Coach Clark Lee about like begging to get back in the game, and kind of throwing a little hissy fit on the sideline. I thought that was a little much. Because he knew what he was trying to do and what, break a record and this and that. I'm like, hey,
just chill out.
Just chill out a little bit, man.
You're the starting quarterback, dude. Relax a little bit. I bet you Pavia gets an invitation up to New York City for the Heisman
He does that.
Trophy
He does that for
ceremony.
this one.
Yeah, I think so too. So Vanderbilt, they are definitely live for a college football playoff berth. And they got a big, big game at Tennessee on Saturday at 3:30 p.m. So that will be one that we certainly break down. Okay, how about Notre Dame? We don't talk a lot about Notre Dame on Punt and Pass, of course, until college football playoff season rolls around. They beat Syracuse 70-7. 70-7. However,
I think
they were up 21-0, Jake, without having taken an offensive snap. I don't know if we'll ever see that again in our lifetime.
Yeah. So when I read that, I just didn't think it was true. And now that you said it, it is definitely a fact.
It was an interception return for a touchdown, a punt return for a touchdown, and then another interception return for a touchdown. They were up 21-0 with 9 minutes and 50 seconds left in the first quarter. And then they were up 63-0 with 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Halftime score, 49-0. They absolutely drubbed Syracuse. And Jeremiah Love, he's a stud. 8 carries for 171 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, to do that on 8 carries is absolutely absurd.
That's an average of 21.4 yards per carry.
Yeah, I mean, Notre Dame's trying to do all they can to have these big statement wins late in the season.
They have to.
I mean, because they're on the fringe. How do you put in Notre Dame, without having Miami in there as well, right? So, I mean, we can go down this rabbit hole, but I mean, the committee is going to find themselves in a mess because, I think spots 9 through 15, 16, I mean, there are a lot of good cases to be made and a lot of teams that could get in, and there are teams at the top that could cause a lot of chaos if they happen to lose maybe in their championship game.
Okay, so Notre Dame loses their first 2 games of the season against ranked opponents, Miami and Texas A&M.
Pretty good.
They play a bunch of nobodies.
Yep.
They beat USC 34-24. Southern Cal lost over the weekend. I don't even believe they're still ranked in the top 25. I'll check on that in a second. And they beat Pitt 37-15. Pitt's like barely in the top 25. So the conversation becomes, okay, Notre Dame played 2 pretty good opponents. They lost to both of them. What do you do with Notre Dame? Well, they're taking care of business in their own right to make sure that that is not a topic of conversation. I think Notre Dame is absolutely in the college football playoff. Southern Cal is ranked 19th. Pitt is ranked 24th. So good job, Notre Dame. How about Southern Cal? They go out to Oregon, put up a fight. They fall short
game as well
to the Oregon Ducks, 42-27. Dan Lanning, look, I thought his comments after the game about how they didn't have to play Chattanooga State, taking a shot at the SEC.
How about that?
A little interesting, I thought. Like, that just didn't really check the box for me. But did you see the question that Lincoln Riley was asked?
No.
Okay, so he's sitting there post-game. Obviously, they just lost. And College Game Day was there at the Oregon USC game. A reporter asks Lincoln Riley, hey, Coach, just wanted to ask your thoughts, after a loss like this. There were some signs at College Game Day today that said, give Lincoln Riley an extension. What are your thoughts on opposing fan bases not viewing you as a threat? And Lincoln Riley looks at him and goes, I've been coaching for a very long time. That's the dumbest question I've ever been asked in my life. This is a professional setting. You should be embarrassed. You just asked me that. I was like, I thought it was a stupid question too. I mean, you're talking about College Game Day signs to a head coach after they just lost. But Lincoln Riley, man, what's his buyout? North of $100 million. Southern Cal seems to be stuck with their head coach for the moment.
Yeah. Especially where you look at where Oklahoma is right now. I mean, Oklahoma, if they obviously win their last game of the season, I mean, should definitely be a shoe-in for the college football playoff, right? Beat a good Alabama team. I think if they end up, I think they would have had 5 or 6 ranked top 25 wins this year, which is crazy. I think that might be the most in the country. And man, they battled. They hadn't had their starting quarterback for a couple weeks when he went down, and they were able to fight through it. So, man, I just don't know how you have Notre Dame in there without Oklahoma.
I know Oklahoma beat ranked Michigan, ranked Auburn. They lost to ranked Ole Miss. They beat ranked Tennessee, beat ranked Alabama, and just beat ranked Missouri 17-6. They play LSU this upcoming weekend, so a huge win for Oklahoma. They are ranked 8th right now in the AP poll, probably a very similar spot in the college football playoff poll that will come out on Tuesday evening. But a big win for Brent Venables, John Mateer, and the Sooners. Oklahoma looks to be in a great spot for a college football playoff berth. Speaking of LSU, did you see the clips of Brian Kelly's son at Senior Day? Please tell me.
A little bit, yeah. I didn't click on and have the volume up, but I saw enough to get the gist.
Okay, so an interesting scenario, and I feel bad for the kid because he came out after the game and said LSU would not allow Brian Kelly to be there with his own son on Senior Day. That sucks. I'll have empathy there.
It does.
But this kid goes onto the field. Cameras are in his face. He lifts up his jersey. He's got BK, his dad's initials, written in Sharpie, and he's saying, "Free my boy BK.
Free my
boy BK.
My boy."
That was maybe the funniest thing I think I've ever seen, Jake. Free my boy BK.
Free
what?
My boy.
He just got a $50 million buyout. I think he's okay. I understand he's your dad. So I'm a little bit torn because, of course, the parents should have every opportunity to be there. It's not like he did anything wrong. He just got fired and, of course, maybe dealing with some litigation against the university in regards to that buyout. But hashtag free my boy BK.
Free my boy BK, which is crazy, free him, he's not just doing fine and dandy right now. And then my boy, right? No, dude, he's
hilarious.
Your dad. He's your dad.
Hilarious.
Hey, speaking of LSU, I don't want to throw you on the spot. I mean, circulating social media all weekend, especially X. I mean, we're talking about Lane Kiffin, some $90 million deal to LSU. It didn't seem real. There wasn't a whole lot of validation to it. Is it real? Is it fake news? What is that?
I'm sure the reports might be true in regards to what the offer could potentially be to Lane Kiffin. If it's reported that it was north of $90 million for 5 years, I'm sure Florida's putting together a similar package. And I bet you Ole Miss matches whatever Lane Kiffin is brought to the table from a Florida or an LSU. So I don't know. I still think that he's going to stay at Ole Miss. I really do. I'm kind of going against the grain with that one. But of course, that will be a huge storyline everybody follows as we head into rivalry week. Speaking of rivalry week, Jake, man, we've got so much great football coming up. How about Friday's triple header? You got the Egg Bowl at noon, 6th ranked Ole Miss at Mississippi State. The Dawgs are taking on Tech at 3:30, and then A&M heads to Texas on Saturday. You got the big game, Ohio State, Michigan on Saturday afternoon. You've got Alabama taking on Auburn at Auburn. The weather's supposed to be very cold, in the low 30s, high 20s with some wind. So I think that will be a good one too. And I'm telling you right now, man, circle the Vandy Tennessee game. It's going to be an amazing weekend of college football. We will have you ready to roll with this week's later episode of Punt and Pass. Hey, this episode of Punt and Pass has been brought to you by our awesome partners over at Solomon Brothers Jewelers. That's right. Solomon Brothers Jewelers is
You're
the
still
best.
in your head. You're still in your head about your intro, Drew.
I know. 3 amazing locations for you to choose from: Alpharetta, Buckhead, and Sharpsburg. SolomonBrothers.com, at Solomon Brothers on social media. It's buyback month. Bring those old jewelry pieces and any gold sitting around your house. You can get an additional 50% added to your in-store credit. Check them out. SolomonBrothers.com. Tell them Punt and Pass sent you for an additional 10% off. Remember, Humberto Injury Law is your first call when accidents happen. Don't wait. Visit HumbertoInjuryLaw.com today. Humberto Injury Law, protecting people, fighting for justice, winning results. That is Humberto Injury Law. Jake, anything on the way out, my man?
No, man. This is just going to be very interesting how it all plays out. I just think something is so just cool, serene, and nostalgic about football and Thanksgiving. Amen. It's going to be an awesome week. Can't wait to dive into it more. but can't wait to gain a few pounds this week. It's going to be great.
I'm already ahead of you. I've had a big weekend, looking to keep it going. Follow us on social media at Punt and Pass, at Drew Butler, at From Jake. Subscribe to YouTube. Have a great week, everybody. We will talk to you on Thursday. See ya.
We out.